Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Exposure Network's premium media podcast. Every week we get together, talk about movies, TV, and online content, and help answer the question, how is the Odyssey trailer still not online yet? That seems like an oversight. I'm your host, Asher Lee. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
With a harder question for you. How did I record this podcast a week ago, feel totally fine, finish recording, get into bed, and then die for pretty much the rest of the week? What did you do to me?
You know, what bad opinions did you have last week?
I don't remember. All I know is I was totally fine recording this podcast. I got in the bed, and then I woke up in the middle of the night with the biggest aches and pains and just feel like absolute ass. I'm like, Ash has poisoned me somehow through audio. Yep.
It's possible.
I have literally not been on my computer or sat in this chair since this time last,
The coincidence. Probably something just before, and then you powered through the podcast with your last piece of, strength.
My last bit of strength, yeah.
Put it into audio form, yes. Today, we'll be talking about what's in our watch history, going some film news, give you some trailers, give you this week's top 3. Of course, this week, the big movie to kick things off, Superman. The first entry in the first film entry in the new DCU, led by James Gunn, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, starring David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Holtz. We just did a massive spoiler cast over on All New DC Cast, our podcast dedicated to all things DCU. So Dylan, do you want to share your non-spoilery thoughts on Superman?
Crazy how Batman comes at the end and they both agree that they have Martha as
I think it meant no, Batman v Superman.
It was really, really good. I fully on board the DCU train after this. I think what's set up within this as far as universe wise, I don't even want to say tonally, because James Gunn's made it very adamant, unlike Marvel, that he's every movie and project can stand on its own tonally, and they're not trying to paint with the same brush across everything, which is why Guy Gardner isn't swearing in this, but he probably will be in the next thing he's in. So, appreciate that. But as a Superman movie, very good. Starts 3 years into Superman's time as Superman. And, we get to skip a lot of the origin story stuff we've seen a million times over. We don't need to retread that path. And, for people like ourselves, I guess, who, we're good. just get us in, get us going. It works quite well. I will be interested to see how that works. For less, or people, I don't know.
People not
surely
listening
everyone
to
just
this.
Yeah, I guess people not listening to this sort of thing. That's where I'd be intrigued to see how well it does for them. But it's a refreshing comic book film. In sort of, I guess, the opposite direction that something like The Dark Knight goes, because a lot of people that don't like comic book movies like Dark Knight, because it was obviously ultra serious and grounded, and just like it was like, this
quote
is
unquote
just a real
realistic.
This is a real fucking movie that just so happens to have Batman in it. Whereas this, like, I don't know, Marvel has their tone for what feels like a comic book movie now, and people who are sort of sick of that might like this because it doesn't feel like their stuff at all, which is good. But at the end of the day, it is still very high fantasy, if not anything. So just got to be aboard some wild and wacky stuff. But very much enjoyed the cast. I thought Lex was fantastic as the villain. Rachel Brosnahan, really, really great as Lois. My one downside I mentioned in the spoiler cast is just that I would have preferred to have seen some more of Lois and Clark as Lois and Clark, not Lois running into action and Superman in action sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, I love the film. I'm 2 watches in already. I agree. There is maybe a little bit. James Gunn was trying to do a lot at this movie, and you feel it a little bit, or other people may feel it a lot. But I feel like everything is necessary for the plot, and nothing is just shoehorned in for the sake of like stuffing world building into the story. I think David Corenswet is fantastic. Superman is a more hopeful, human-esque, very much he's just very charming and likable, but not in a high and mighty kind of way that like I guess Christopher Reeves felt like he was above a little bit, like he was better than people to a degree. You know what I mean?
Superman,
He was someone to aspire to.
doing very important stuff, man.
Yeah. The other Supermen feel like a figure that people were aspiring to, whereas this feels like just another person on the street. Like,
well, I guess the
just
big
happens to be
difference is
Superman.
that, like, obviously, I don't think James Gunn's take is the same as Zack Snyder's, which is Zack Snyder's very much like Superman is Jesus Christ. Like, let's go the full like religious route.
Rachel Brosnan's perfect fit as Lois Lane. Like, that was just great casting. Like, it makes sense. Miss Maisel, Lois Lane, those two fit. Nicholas Hoult is fantastic as Lex Luthor, and I think does a very modern Lex Luthor really well. But there's also like this person who's has a very clear goal that he wants to achieve in this movie, and he's given every ounce of himself to achieving that goal. It just has he has some great monologues and moments, and looks great with the bald head and that kind of stuff. It's like kind of crazy to think that he could have played Superman after watching this. It's like it was like down to the final two. It's like what a world that could have been. Great supporting cast. The Justice Gang is really fantastic, but it's Mr. Terrific who gets the greatest opportunity to shine in the film. Even like a character like Jimmy Olsen has kind of been neglected in these movies, gets a fun subplot to that has ramifications and that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's some really cool spectacles, really interesting stuff. Like the movie is kind of nonstop, and I don't think there's any lulls in the movie. Like, at least for me, I think you mentioned during this podcast, like some of the political stuff that's happening in the world, like some people weren't as interested in. But everything to me was fascinating, and there was always something new and interesting that hadn't been done before up on screen. It's slight tweaks to the lineage and story and that kind of stuff. So, even for
I was like, it flew by for me, but it was just my note in the spoiler cast was that in the deep sections discussing the political conflict in the movie, that the younger teens around me all started chitter chatting, and I had them say the word boring at one stage. So,
fucking heathen children, raise your kids better is what we need to say. Can't you see what this is actually talking about?
Which is so funny because I'd say that one particular scene in the movie, the 15 minutes or whatever, the interview scenes from the trailer between Lois and Clark, where he gets interviewed as Superman, some of the like best snappy back and forth dialogue of the whole movie. So how can you not be engaged by the screen when that's happening?
I thought there was like when they were gonna talking to the president or whatever. It's like that's what they'll be finding boring. Fucking kids these days. Yeah, really enjoyable. Really like great setup. Oh, Crypto, the dog who's been on the marketing, fantastic. Like I know it's been a little bit overplayed that Superman's got a dog in this movie, but it pays off in a major way. It's super delightful. Yeah. Go check out Superman. I believe it's done pretty well. I believe, let's have a look at the Variety wrote Superman
200 something already.
Superman flew to $122 million in its first weekend release in America. That makes it the third strongest debut this year after Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch, which is surprising, I guess, bigger than Jurassic World Rebirth in the States at least. But globally, it's taken $217 million, which pretty much just matches its box office, its budget.
I'll be interested to see this says so what Australia's numbers are. I guess put in perspective, one of the biggest openings I've seen so far this year was F1, which was I think just over 20 million in its first week.
So
for Australia, so
I expect really good numbers, and I think probably word of mouth about how good it will give it a little bit more staying power, hopefully, over the next few weeks. Although it's got stiff competition coming up, so
it's got a week and a half now until
till Fantastic Four,
basically.
which we suspect will be its strongest competitor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go check out Superman. Go listen to our spoiler cast over on All New DC Cast. The link is in the bio, in the show notes below. So check that out. Very, very great time to be a DC fan. Finally, we have hope in the DC universe, both from this version of Superman and just it's good. A lot of optimistic projects coming down the pipe. Yeah, so Dylan, this week you're obviously sick, so you've ended up watching a lot of stuff.
You know what? The funny thing, whenever I'm sick, bad for everything apart from this podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what do you want to watch is a big winner. That's why I keep getting you sick and poisoning you.
Yeah. See, that makes sense, actually.
So you got around to checking out the first few episodes of the new Apple TV series Smoke.
Yeah, so I watched, I think it was 3 that the hell was out. I think a new one dropped yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, though. I'll say this. It's hard to talk about this. Without
I assume there's a
spoilers.
spoiler, but it's a spoiler we predicted in the trailer?
Correct, yeah. Which is sort of my problem because I sort of expected that. That's how I was watching the show. So I was already sort of intrigued. However, I would say if you are naive or didn't watch the trailer, which sort of made it very obvious, I do think that the first 2 episodes are a slow burn to get to that reveal of that. And then it's intriguing from there. I'm very keen to keep watching it though, and I did enjoy it so far. But basically, I mean, the setup in episode 1 is you've got this character played by Taron Egerton, who's a fire inspector, looks at fires to try and work out the cause and stuff. And then Jenny Smollett plays a I can't remember where she comes from, but she's like a detective,
CIA or FBI, one or the other, right?
Something like that. But who's been kicked so far down the chain that she's now being assigned to work with Taron Egerton's character to help find 2 serial arsonists that are in this one area or whatever. Yeah, so basically, the first 2 episodes, you get you see one of the arsonists they introduce, played by I'm gonna find the actor's name actually because he's quite good. Hold on. So his name is, I'm gonna butcher this. Hopefully don't butcher this, but Tiar Guma Bahar Wine. Apologies. But he plays this dude who you see that cuts away and shows that he's he works in a fast food store, chicken shop. He's 40 years old, sort of gets treated like shit by the people there. Goes home lonely by himself, all this sort of stuff. And you can, Taron Egerton's character has a throwaway line early in the show where he's like, people who arsonists are often people who don't have control of their life and looking to take it away from other people or something. But you get to see a moment, I think it's in the second episode, where you see him follow these 2 people home, this couple who are having a great night, doesn't know them or anything, but just and then sets their house ablaze and then stands there watching it, enjoying. And then when the camera's on him, and this is the thing I've enjoyed about it so far, this has quite good cinematography. When the camera's on him and the blaze and sparks, he's like, oh, this is so magical. But then of course the camera cuts back to the house, and when the fire brigade get there, they're bringing him out, and the husband's badly burnt up, and his kids screaming, and the house is all burning down, and all this. But he's like, "Oh, this is so sort of shows what he as this arsonist is viewing it. So we're following one of the 2 arsonists that we know about, and then they're trying to figure out who the other one is, and at the same time, you're learning some teasing history about Jenny Smollett's character, who. She's got a history of her mum, and she's in prison, and she was involved in the fire when she was younger, and all this other stuff as well. Raphael Spol's in the show. He's quite good, and he's usually good in everything he's in, to be honest. He's one of those sort of character actors. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm keen to. I mean, yeah, long story short, I'm keen to keep watching this one. Yep.
Awesome. So speaking of Apple TV, I finished watching the first season of Murderbot. first season because it's been already announced this week that it's getting a second season. Obviously, there's this series in which Alexander Skarsgård plays a sec unit, which is a security robot, but he has hacked its governor module, which is the thing that protects it from, like, gives the company control over them and stops them from killing their clients or whatever. So he's been sent to this planet with a bunch of naive, like, hippies, effectively, who are trying to doing science on the planet or whatever. And he's trying to protect them. But then there's this larger conspiracy where it seems like there's another company that's come to the planet trying to find special things that are on the planet, and have taken out like another group that has been there as well. Meanwhile, he's trying to keep the secret that he is pretty much got free will from all these people. Isn't successful because they eventually find out. Also, he calls himself Murderbot because that's fun. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the season. I feel I didn't watch for a few weeks and kind of had a binge watch towards the end, and I feel like that was maybe the best way to watch the show. I feel like kind of the small 30-minute chunks every week was a little bit of a slog, or like there wasn't enough substance every single week to get me excited to watch the next week. Whereas watching it all in one go is like a much easier pill to swallow, I guess. Or like it felt like, there wasn't enough there to sustain me week to week. But I really enjoyed it when I watched it all together. I think, Alexander Skarsgård, again, showing he's got fantastic comedy chops, and like, he's it's the great use of like voiceover and that kind of stuff, where he's obviously playing a stoic robot on screen and then giving like funny dialogue off it. And also you get the storyline of the soap that he, like, high-end entertainment that he likes to watch, called Sanctuary Moon, that he also quotes all the time because he doesn't know how to make small talk, so he just pulls lines from the show, which someone finally clicks onto and is finally what gets him discovered by some people in a situation. But yeah, I thought it was really delightful. I'm really keen to see where they go in a second season, especially where they left it off at the end of the season with Murderbot. Yeah, it's a really fantastic, fun show. 10 episodes, 30 minutes each. So, it's only 5 hours, 5-hour watch, which isn't too bad. Yeah, really good supporting cast. But yeah, Alexander Skarsgård's the draw here. So go check out Murderbot on Apple TV Plus as well. Dylan, you started watching something called Hell Motel, which I believe is a show about a bunch of true crime enthusiasts coming together for like some event.
Yes.
Like a bunch of true crime podcasters all coming up, and then they all get murdered, right?
Kinda. This is a Shudder original series. It's from the same people that did Slasher. It apparently was supposed to be the next season of Slasher, but then they've spun it off into its own thing for whatever reason. Nonetheless, it basically it follows there's like in the 80s, there's a big like satanic bunch of everyone in this hotel's murdered or whatever. And then it's like 30 years later, and basically these people have brought the hotel and they want to turn it into a big holiday spot sort of thing, with the attraction of like where this massive crime happened, come stay here sort of thing. So to help build up press for it, they invite these, I think it was 10 guests or whatever. It's like one is a big crime podcaster, one's an art person who does stuff, another one's a actress who's played one of the women in the film about these events, another one's just some girl who likes having sex with serial killers. Like they're all like connected to serial killer stuff in one way or another. But yeah, basically once they get to the house, people start, dying. There's people going with it. The only annoying thing about the show is, and this is I haven't watched all of Slash. I've watched like bits and pieces, and then a couple, like I think two entirety of seasons. But the it's hard to sustain itself. So, well, how many have I watched? Where's my Trakt? 5 episodes, right? So 5 episodes. There's 8 episodes in total, and it is struggling to sustain that many episodes across people being trapped in a one location, like hotel room. Like it's hard to keep that up. But especially when the only reason they don't leave is basically that they've said, oh, there's a massive storm, and the nearest next town is say an hour away or 2 hours, whatever the hell it is. And it's like in the wilderness, and like the first time they do have a character attempt to walk down the highway there, and then they get attacked by a fucking wild wolves or some shit. And it's like, oh, you can't, like, we're trapped, we can't leave with it, sort of thing. But I'm still like, I don't know, guys. I feel like if all 10 of you had left from the outset before you all started getting chopped, dying, I'm pretty sure all 10 of you would have scared off 2 wolves, like I don't just that sort of thing I'm struggling with. But I'm enjoying it so far. It is like sort of similar quality to Slasher, which is very up and down. Some of the characters are more like, it's a mix of okay to, oh god, that person is the most annoying character in this show, and I can't wait till they die. And not in like a good way where you like can tell they're written that way. It's just, you're so annoying, I'm sick of you. But yeah, it's if you just want slasher content, like a series about just like who's it going to be, because that's the mystery, of course, at this point is who's it has to be one of them. Like that's the whole thing. There has to be one of them that's actually there doing the crime. So which one will it be? And I actually don't know at this point. I'm not sure who my guess would be. So 3 episodes left to find out.
All right. So you also watched the animated Predator film that we talked about, directed by Dren Trachtenberg. Predator Killer of Killers that came to Disney Plus.
Yeah, finally got around to watching this. Very much enjoyed it. So this is it's the way they set it up is it starts in the Viking Age, and you get to see these people like charging in to get revenge for her family or whatever, and then the predator gets involved, and then she has a massive fight with this predator, and then she beats the predator. Slight spoilers. Beats the predator, and you're like, oh, I wonder where this is going. But then that's that becomes the crux of the movie. So then it goes to another time. Then we jump ahead. Now we're in samurai Japan. Predator's hunting someone there. This guy beats a predator. Okay, what's happening? And then we go to a third. The third timeline is a dude.
Viking?
No. The Viking's the first one. So it's Viking, samurai, and then the third one is World War II. But it's not a dude on the ground. It's a dude in an airplane, and he takes on the predator. Is in the fucking its own ship taking people down in the sky. Not even getting involved, not even getting out of his ship. He's just involved. Takes out Predator. But what it turns out is that the Predators, because these people all beat Predators, they're then captured, and they've been brought together to the Predators' home planet, where they're going to like fight in a fucking gladiatorial combat thing. So between each of the stories, it's sort of like the camera, it goes back to like where they're in the prison cell together, and like the camera will like pan across to the next character and then like go back in time to them. So it sort of feels like a bunch of shorts, but then like they
there's an
get
overall
tied
story.
into there's no overall story that ties it all together. And the payoff, seeing them attempt to work together and not work together for some of them, when they all get let loose is quite a lot of fun. And the lore building of the predators in this is really cool. The leader one, or I don't know, the king of the predators, I fucking don't know what we're calling him, but the one that like comes out and like basically makes them all fight and announces it. He's like wearing this fucking like massive coat, like regal coat thing that's made of alien tails. Well, that's fucking pretty badass. Like, I'm just wearing a bunch of alien tails, like alien as in alien, by the way, not like alien, like the fucking movie's Alien Tales. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and there's a few other things like that where they tie in the overarching universe. There's a subtle hint to some of the other Predator stuff. There's a funny bit with a gun from the last Predator movie comes back into this again, which was a good gag, I thought. And then there's a few other Easter eggs to some stuff that I thought was fun. But yeah, I really like the animation style too. It took me like probably took me like 10 minutes to get into it, just because like it's all created in Unreal Engine 5, which is wild. I think for a movie to be created entirely in that. But yeah, it took me like the first 10 minutes to get into it, and once I was aboard, I think I was into it. You get some very visceral, bloody action scenes out of this, and they're able to do things they wouldn't be able to do in live action, or would really struggle to do. Like they're just able to keep the camera going, and still just have people like cut in half around them and all sorts of stuff, So.
All right. All right. Then you've also checked out the latest entry in the Twisted Childhood universe, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember the other week where you asked me how have I not watched this yet? There you go. I have now. So
I feel like that was several weeks ago.
Was it? Time flies.
Yeah.
So Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. This this one's directed by Scott Chambers, who actually played Christopher Robin in the last version, and is actually in We Need to Play Blood and Honey 2, and is also one of the co-producers of all these films as well. So, it is somewhere between Winnie the Pooh 1 and 2. I stand by, and I think Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 is like solid fun. Like I quite enjoyed that movie a fair bit. 1 was just absolute trash. And this is sort of like, this is okay. I don't think it has the quite amount of money. Like it ends up just being they spend a lot of time in this one fucking house towards the end of the film. I'm like, we're stuck in one location hell now, aren't we, guys? But the setup and the what they changed about the characters, I thought was all quite interesting. So basically, Peter Pan is a fucked up. I don't really know. Like he's kidnapping all these kids and killing them and telling them and saying that that's taking him to Neverland, basically. And he's just like
So the afterlife is Neverland.
I think that's the implication. But yeah, he's just a fucked up child kidnapper and murderer, and just a really weird character. I'll also say there's at one stage where he takes off his pants in this film, no dick. So I don't know what the backstory is there, but they tease something about what's going on in Peter Pan's background. Tinkerbell is a the interesting thing there is it's the backstory to this is, and this is what I mean, this movie has a lot of like quite interesting like forward thinking ideas on characters, but you're also like, it's in such a weird movie, but it's like Tinkerbell is a kid that Peter Pan kidnapped, like one of the earliest people he kidnapped. And he only kidnaps boys, doesn't kidnap girls. It's only boys, doesn't care for girls. But then the boy is a trans girl, basically, that was a questioning. So then when Peter kidnaps her and discovers that she is a she, I guess, no longer can go Neverland, but keeps Tinkerbell around. And now they're named Tinkerbell. However, Tinkerbell is now addicted to shooting up drugs when we see them in the film, and the syringes literally say pixie dust on the side of them. So that's I think. But so the setup sort of is Peter like kidnaps Michael Darling from, of course, the classic story and stuff, and then I guess when he's kidnapped and stuff, it sort of was reminding me of Black Phone a little bit, because he's sort of kept in this house, and Peter keeps just coming down and being all creepy and fucking weird to him and stuff. But Wendy, his Wendy from the classic film, sorry, she sets out to find her younger brother, basically from that point on. I mean, I think there's a lot of fun ideas in here, interesting ideas for the original. This is based on the original story, not the Disney stuff, and I guess some of the ideas and more darker elements they come from the core, the original source material, definitely not the Disney stuff. So yeah, it was okay. I think it fell off in its last act. It couldn't sustain itself and build up to a as good a finale as I think it could have had, but it was alright.
All right. Uh, sticking on the horror train, I think you watched something on Shadow called The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Yeah, this was really good. So this is fucking. I'm trying to remember how to describe it. Basically, Jeffrey Rush plays a judge. This is a New Zealand film. Also set in New Zealand film, but so Jeffrey Rush plays a judge who at the start of the film, as he's like giving sentence to someone, I guess he has a heart attack, and then we sort of skip ahead. Now he's living in this sort of he's in his home, and he keeps talking about how he just needs to wait for his legs to get better. So I think it's implied like he has like a heart attack or something, and then like he's now lost sort of a lot of his mobility, and he's trying to, I guess, regain that and stuff. But anyway, he's living in his home, and in home, John Lithgow's there, and he plays a character who walks around at all times with a little puppet on his hand, and the puppet's name is Jenny Penn. And basically, at nighttime, John Lithgow's character just goes around and fucks with people. And Jeffrey Rush first discovers that when he's like trying to sleep one night and he's like in his bed, and then John Lithgow's character comes in, and then Jeffrey Rush is staying with I can't remember the actor's name anyway, semi famous New Zealand actor, but the staying with this type of dude, and John Lithgow like just sort of semi tortures him, like not in a like sticks things in weird places sort of torture way, but just like psychological warfare nearly, and including like bends over his hand with his puppet. No, first makes him say, he says it like throughout the whole film, like who rules or something like that, and then the other guy's like Jenny Penn, and then he turns his hand around with the puppet, lifts up the puppet's like where the puppet's would be ass is, and then makes him lick. It's like goes lick Jenny Penn's asshole, and then they lick Jenny Penn's asshole, but really it's just like the back of his hand. It's like all this weird, fucked up psychological nonsense that's going on. And the movie is basically this, because no one believes him. Like Jeffrey Rush's character tries to tell the orderlies at the place, like this guy's coming in and fucking with us at nighttime and stuff like that. And they're like, no, he wouldn't do that. And but yeah, it's this whole back and forth. It's a I would say it's a psychological thriller about these two people doing within this old person's home basically. Is very, very good. I think the performances from both Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow are fantastic. I would say that John Lithgow's performance is the standout. Like he does a insanely good job at playing this fucking weird creepy dude who's just, I don't know, like his life is, as you discover, like has become ruling this old person's sort of place as a thing. I looked up afterwards to find out like because I found it such an interesting story and movie, but and I think a quote where the director said it was about how dictatorship can start even in the smallest places. I was like, that adds up, like, because that's sort of. But I would very much recommend this. I thought it was probably one of the it's probably one of the best things I've seen this year, to be honest. Like it would be up there. Like it's very, very good.
All right. And to wrap up, you obviously this week, big release of the week. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot / continuation legacy sequel. You've done a rewatch of the 3 original films. Do you want to give how do you want to tackle this?
So I've watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I still know what you did last summer. I've watched both of those several times. Watched them both when I was younger, when I was, going through like getting into horror phase with the rest of the 90s and 80s slashers that I could get my hands on. I always thought they were fine. Like I've never like that. I don't think anyone holds them in super high regard. They were known for at the time because they were written by Kevin Williamson. They came out just after Scream, but he wrote them before Scream. Or sorry, he wrote the first one before Scream. Came out after Scream. Everyone expected it to be more Scream. It's not. It's more just typical slasher. Like it's not turning the slasher story on its head that Scream was, sort of thing. I mean, the first one sort of just stands out, I guess, for its cast, more so than the second one, because you had Jennifer Love Hewitt, who cast for the second one, Sarah Michelle Gellar, who doesn't come back, spoilers, dies, Freddie Prinze Jr., who comes back for the second one, and then Brian Phillippe, who, spoilers, dies. But I mean, the story is basically those four characters are partying one night. They're driving back from a beach, and then out of nowhere, and the movie does a good job at sort of being like, they're like, it's Ryan Phillippe's character is the problem. He's being drunk and just causing all havoc in the backseat while Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character's driving. But basically causing him look down for a second. Anyway, the next second they hit someone, and then they basically hide the body and whatever else buried in the ocean. A year later, they start getting these letters and stuff like that say, "I know what you did last summer," and then one by one they start getting chased down and attacked and killed by a dude who's wearing a fisherman coat and a hook for a hand. So I'm going to spoil the movie because it's important before we get to the second one and potentially where we go to the third one. But it turns out the twist for I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'm sure you know the plot well, Ash. I'm sure you're very aware of the twists of this film.
Yeah,
so
there's a fisherman.
That's it.
They know what they did last summer.
So it turns out that the person they thought they killed didn't die. And that is the person who's trying to come back and kill them. Throughout the movie, they keep trying to figure out it's this other person, and they plant a red herring of this other dude being on the hill that night, but he was actually there to kill. He was there upset when this other character, Benjamin Willis, the fisherman, he shows up. He's just killed him, and he's walking away from having just murdered someone when he walks onto the highway and gets hit by our crew. So he's actually a bad guy, but they don't kill him. He manages to survive, and a year later, after recovering, decides to come back and kill all of the people. So the first one's fun. I enjoy it for what it is. It's teen thing. I will say Ryan Phillippe's character, who I think this stands out more in the year 2025, an actor who eventually got in trouble for basically beating up his own girlfriends, I guess is the most simplest way to put that. He plays someone who looks like, who constantly is threatening women and choking them out in this film. So I don't know what the fuck's on there, but a little bit on the nose. But I still enjoyed, I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, I mean, they're two, like, you know, 90s like girls, you know what I mean? Like they're sort of, so it's fun to watch them. And then we go to the second one, and it's like they get secretly invited to this fucking island, and then they go to the island and the killer turns back up, and the whole twist in the second one is that the dude has a son. Anyway, check them out. Second one I don't think is anywhere near as good. It wasn't written by anyone the same as whatever. And then the third one's absolutely atrocious. Well, I never watched the third one before. No, hold on. I always knew what you did last summer. Which
always know, yeah.
I'll always know, is it? Oh, fucking hell, there. I'll always know what you did last summer, which I believe was a straight to DVD release. I remember seeing it on the shelf in VO Easy, and being like, that looks dog shit. I might watch that one day, and I never did, but here we are. So it has none of the original characters, has nothing to do with the original group at all. It starts with these
it looks like nobody in the cast is of any note.
Nope. No one that you would know. But basically, at the start of the film, they're like, also not even in the same fucking town, where the whole point is like the town's like so integral to the like the character. Anyway, wherever the fuck it's set, these kids, they do a prank where they have like someone dress up as the hooked killer, because they talk about it like it's a tight, like a fucking, what do you call it? Like a, I'm trying to think of the word, like a
Folktale?
folktale. I don't know. Well, yeah, whatever, sure. Folktale. Talk about that. And there's a whole prank where they have one of their friends dress up and get chased by the killer, and all the cops get involved. And anyway, one of their friends who was supposed to like jump off this roof and land on like some stuff they placed below it so he'd be safe. He doesn't land on it. He smacks into a fucking truck and dies basically. So anyway, they keep it all secret. They don't tell the cops that it was all part of a prank. There wasn't actual killer chasing him. They let everyone believe that the killer was actually chasing him, even though it was one of their friends. So 1 year later, they start getting notes about, we know what you did last summer. Anyway, the whole movie's terrible. Skip to the end because the ending makes it so much worse. Spoilers for a movie I was going to watch. But I found it so fucking amusing. I nearly choked on what I was doing at the time when I saw it. Because you're like, who's going to be the killer? Like, it cannot be the same dude because they kill him at the end of the second one. Like at the end of the first one, the fisherman, and I know what you did last summer. They do the whole thing where they chop off his hand and then like kick him into the ocean. But of course, you're like, he could come back. Like he only lost a hand. He could come back. So when he comes back for the second one, it's not like shocking. You're like, well, that makes sense. He only lost a hand. But in the second one, Freddie Prinze Jr. character shoots him with about 10 rounds straight. Like he dead, right? So you're like, I don't think he's coming back for this one. Also, why the fuck would he care? Like the whole reason he was trying to chase down those kids in the first two movies is because for revenge for them nearly killing him. Why the fuck would he be involved here? It's not quite that. It kind of is that. It is revealed. It is the zombified spirit of that character. So at some stage near the very end of the movie, you finally see above the with the fisherman's hood, it comes off. It's a zombie-looking dude. It's a zombie character, but he's a ghost. They try shooting him and stabbing him. Nothing. He's a ghost. He's a ghost spirit that's just come. So now this franchise that up until this point had just been a slasher, now it's supernatural, spooky. What do we do now? I can't even remember how the movie ended. I think from that point on, I may have completely zoned out, to be honest. Anyway, very amusing, terrible movie. So ranking is 1, 2, 3. I'm keen for the new one though.
Yeah, all right.
Well, it's from the same director of what was that movie I liked? The Dare one.
The Do Revenge.
Do Revenge, yeah. So I'm mildly hopeful.
Mildly hopeful. Okay. That's what we want to hear. All right, that's everything in our watch histories. Let's move on. Quiet news week this week, but every week there's just so many casting news or new films being announced or projects that we like to cover them in a segment called Would You Want to Invest? What happens is I list off a bunch of projects for dealing with different facts and figures, information, and he tells me if he would partially invest, fully invest, or not invest, and history will be the judge if he was right or wrong. You ready for this iteration?
Mm.
All right, kicking things off. Nicola Peltz Beckham, Jay-Z DeLisa, and Mary Stuart Masterson have commenced production on Pretty Ugly, a dramatic thriller written and directed by multiple DGA Award nominee Erica Dunton. Set in Winnebago, North Carolina. I think that's right for NC. Pretty Ugly follows Raylene, a young woman obsessed with the seductive world of social media beauty, and her mother, who's equally fixated on grisly true crime podcasts. Their relationship unravels when a provocative makeup influencer returns to Winnebago from LA, and all three women are confronted with not only a murder, but also the meaning of the American dream.
That was a lot, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone I know or care or anything attached, or like
the director directed episodes of Ted Lasso?
That doesn't seem like a match at all. Let's just go partial invest. I feel like half of what I understood from that massive spiel sounded slightly intriguing.
Okay. Apple's new feature, Being Human, spelt HEUMANN, has added Michael Park Thornton, Antoine Tolliver, Daniel Durant, John Beavers, Roberta Colindres, and Russell Harvard. So it's cast. The film, based on author Judy Heumanns' best-selling memoir follows activist Human as she leads over 100 people with disabilities in a takeover of the San Francisco Federal Building, kicking off a 28-day sit-in. The protesters quickly form a community, refusing to leave until the government enforces Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, which requires all federal spaces to become accessible. Being Human is adapted, directed, and produced by Academy Award-winning winner Sean Heder. She reunites with Durant, who played Leah Rossi in the Academy Award-winning Coda, which Heder directed and starred in. Previously announced cast members include Mark Ruffalo, Dylan O'Brien, Madeline Delp, Robert Delaney, and Ray Fisher.
Yeah, full invest. Sounds like an interesting story.
After battling vampirism in the box office smash Sinners, Haley Steinfeld has her sights on a gold medal for her follow-up project. It's also still deadline that she is set to star opposite Miles Teller in Paramount's Olympics film Winter Games. Paul Downs Coliseo is directing. Pat Cullinane and Coliseo penned the script. Set in the high-stakes arena of Winter Olympics, the film follows a perpetually overlooked skier and a self-sabotaging hockey legend who collide at their breaking points. The unexpected connection threatens her chance for a medal and his shot at a comeback as they navigate romance and redemption in the Olympic Village.
He means they fuck. Yeah, fully invest.
This is Snow Wimbledon. You've seen Wimbledon with Kirsten Dunst and Paul Bettany?
Yes, but like barely remember it. Yeah, but yes, yeah. But
Netflix is leveling up its Korean content slate once again, commissioning a live-action adaptation of Solo Leveling, the wildly popular web novel, webtoon, and anime franchise that has become one of Korea's biggest crossover hits in recent years. The fantasy action series will star fast-rising action actor Byun Hyuk Woo Suk, with production led by Kakao Entertainment and Senai Pictures. Byun has emerged as one of Korea's most in-demand young stars, has long been fan cast in the role of Song Joon-woo, Solo Leveling's brooding anti-hero. The actor's striking visual presence, described by fans as straight out of the manhwa, makes him a natural fit to embody Jin-woo's transformation from the weakest hunter in the land to humanity's last hope against supernatural annihilation.
no invest from me. I don't think that show works in live action. Full stop.
I mean, at least it's a Korean production, so.
I just
So if they want to swing and miss, that's we don't have to feel bad about
just,
it.
how the fuck do you make that in live action? Like,
I don't know. It's too fast.
it's so stylized and all the monsters and I don't know. No, it's not gonna.
Steve Howey has been tapped for a major recurring role on Amazon MGM Studios' college set romantic drama Off Campus, based on the best-selling book series by Ellie Kennedy. There are 5 books in the series which depicts the elite hockey team and the women in their lives as they grapple with love, heartbreak, and self-discovery, forging deep friendships and enduring bonds while navigating the complexities that come with transitioning into adulthood. In the vein of Bridgerton, each of the first 4 novellas tells the story of a hockey player, with the 5th being a novella collection of all 4 couples. Season 1 of the series, based on the first book, The Deal, follows the unlikely romance between Hannah, a wry hockey-hating music major, and Briar University's Playboy star center, Jarrett Graham.
I feel like sports small your cup of tea, isn't it? Partial invest.
Romantic comedies and sports? Come on, that's a win. 3 decades after they worked together on Amy Heckling's iconic comedy Clueless, Paul Rudd and Jeremy Sisto are set to reteam on Rain Reigns.
I'm pausing it right here. This is some witchcraft shit. Oh, after 30 years, we've got to work together fucking to redo the spell so I can live forever. Yeah, I see how this works.
Yes, they're working on Rain. So the first Rain is Rain. Second Rain is Reign. You know?
Yeah, like rain.
Like, yes. a feature adaptation of the best-selling novel by Anne M. Martin. With young up-and-comer Felice Calculatrice in the lead, the film tells the story of her character, Rose Howard, a neurodivergent 12-year-old raised by her volatile single father who is forced to abandon her daily routine when a superstorm devastates their town and her beloved dog, Rain, goes missing. With the support of her uncle, Rose embarks on a determined search for Rain, a journey that challenges her resilience and compels her to make an impossible choice between her own needs and doing what is right.
I mean, it's based on a bestseller, but what do I know? Partial on this.
Oscar and Tony Award winner and 4-time Emmy nominee Marcia Gay Harden joins Guthu Muthwa Raw and Richard Madden as part of the leading cast of Trinity, the new Netflix drama from showrunner, writer, and executive producer Jed Mercurio. The series follows a heroic naval officer who becomes involved with the outwardly charismatic Secretary of Defense, only to discover he may be at the heart of a dangerous conspiracy.
I'm not investing. That was so vague, I feel.
This podcast favorite, Josh Segarra, has joined the cast of Fox's medical comedy Best Medicine, starring opposite Josh Charles and Abigail Spencer. The series, based on the popular British series Doc Martin, will go into production this summer in upstate New York. Best Medicine is a 1-hour comedy series that centers on Martin Best, a brilliant surgeon who abruptly leaves his illustrious role in Boston to become a general practitioner in quaint East Coast fishing village where he spent his summers as a child. Unfortunately, Martin's blunt and borderline rude bedside manner rubs the quirky, needy locals the wrong way, especially local teacher Louisa Gleason. However, tenacity is the creed of everybody in this small village, and the people who live there may be exactly what the doctor ordered.
That's a wild, weird adaptation of anything. Is Josh Segarra a one of our guys? I didn't realize that was a.
I think he's one of our guys. We like him in everything he calls up.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't disagree. Yeah, I'll go partial on this.
He's not our boy, but
yeah, not our boy Ronnie Chan, but
he's a guy.
Yeah, okay.
One of our guys.
Okay, yeah, I don't disagree. Everything, even if he's in something shit, he's usually the good part of it. So that's fine. That's fair.
But yes, that is a wild adaptation.
Yeah. So I'll go partial on this just because that's the sort of thing you're like, I would pay money to see that. However, do you think that comes together?
Yeah. John Slattery, Jessica Henwick, and Ellen Robertson have joined Netflix's limited series Vladimir as series regulars, with Kaylee Carter, Miriam Silverman, Mallory Johnson, Matt Walsh, Tatawana Jones, and Louise Lambert boarding as recurring. As a woman's life unravels in this 8-episode series, created by and produced by Julia May Jonas, she becomes obsessed with her captivating new colleague, full of sexy secrets, dark humor, and complex characters. Vladimir is about what happens when a woman goes hellbent into turning her fantasies into reality. Based on Julia May Jonas's novel, with Leo Woodall playing the title role.
Of what? Count Dracula?
Vladimir.
Oh.
Hang on, let me see if I can find the book.
Putin?
No, that's not who I want. What's the name of the author?
The League of Legends character?
No.
From Noxus? His account?
Let's see. Fucking stop pop-ups.
The tool bells, man. Oh, you're getting what you gave me.
So, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
so the Goodreads description says, and so we're introduced to our delicious, incisive narrator, a popular English professor whose charismatic husband of the small liberal arts college is under investigation for his inappropriate relationship with former students. The couple have long had a mutual understanding that when it comes to extramarital pursuits, but with these new allegations rife, life has become less comfortable for them both. And when our narrator becomes increasingly infatuated with Vladimir, a celebrated young novelist who's just arrived at campus, the tinderbox world becomes dangerously close to exploding.
So it's not the plot of that movie that came out a couple years ago, Jenna Ortega and was it Miller's something?
Miller's Crossing or something like that.
Yeah. So, no, that's the Coen Brothers movie, I think.
Okay. Miller's Girl. That's it. That's
Miller's Girl. Yeah, I think Miller's Crossing's a Coen Brothers film.
yeah.
Partial best.
That's all there.
Side note, since you brought up Goodreads, I started listening to while sick Jurassic Park.
The original with
The original. Yeah.
by Michael Crichton.
Yeah. Started listening to that. When I was like my eyes hurt to open, so I'm gonna so I got that going. So far, nothing like the movie. Yeah.
All right. Charlie Heaton has joined the lead cast of Netflix's untitled Newfoundland project, created by Jesse McKeown. Heaton will star opposite Josh Hartnett, who executive produces, and Mackenzie Davis in the limited series set in Newfoundland, Canada, where they'll also be shooting. The 6-episode project follows a hard-bitten fisherman who must fight to protect his family, his community, and his vanishing way of life when a mysterious sea creature terrorizes a remote Newfoundland town.
Dave the Diver? Is this Dave the Diver?
Could be. There's no sushi restaurant there, so.
Yeah, not that you know of. Full Invest.
Here we go. In a competitive standoff with multiple bidders, Hulu has nabbed series for development. Best Offer wins the debut novel by former Washington Post journalist Marissa Kishino. Greta Lee is expected to star in the drama adaptation, which will be written by Susan Heathcote, with the two executive producing alongside Kishino, as well as Chelsea McKinney's and Mackenzie Russo's. Described as a sharp exploration of class, ambition, and the modern housing crisis, the Best Offer Wins book centers on Margot, a 37-year-old publicist who, after a year and a half of failed bids in her house hunting, becomes obsessed with a perfect off-market house, resorting to stalking, transposing, and scheming to land the home she believes would save her marriage.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Full Invest.
Yeah. The housing market's real. It's tough.
Mm.
You know, so sounds like a realistic story. Filmmaker Julia Hart has set the cast for Don't Say Good Luck, a new comedy for Netflix. The pickle star Millie Linsky, Max Greenfield, Stephanie Beatriz, Sunny Sandler, B.B. Newworth, and Steve Buscemi. Written by Laura Hankin Hart and John Horowitz, the film follows Sophie Birabon, who is ready for the spotlight as her lead in the High School Musical, until suddenly she's living with even more drama at home than on the stage. Okay, that's disappointing. That was in the end of the description.
Oh,
that's why I was disappointing.
I'm not investing.
Cast though.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Daisy Edgar Jones is set to headline a new adaptation of Jane Austen's classic Sense and Sensibility for Focus Features and Working Title Films. The company is announced on Wednesday. The project returns Focus and Working Title to Austen's body of work, following their collaboration on a Academy Award-winning in 2005 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice and a 2020 adaptation of Emma. BAFTA nominee Georgia Oakley will direct from a script from best-selling author Diana Reid. Originally published anonymously with the byline reading A Lady, Austen's Sense and Sensibility follows sisters Eleanor and Marianne Dashwood, opposites in their emotional approach as they navigate love, loss, and financial uncertainty amid the societal expectations of 18th century England. Austen's 1811 debut novel established her as a literary force and remains a cornerstone of English literature.
Yeah, full invest. This is one of the, like, if you said Pride and Prejudice again, I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a bit of a Austen Renaissance.
Yeah. What did you say? Same producers as Emma? Because I liked Emma.
No, like the companies have done.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I believe, yeah. So, trying to see how many Sense and Sensibility adaptations have been.
I can only recall
not many. There's
is it
the
Keira Knightley? Is that who the?
There's a 1995 Emma Thompson starring one, directed by Ang Lee. The Keira Knightley one you're thinking of is Pride and Prejudice. Yeah. So it hasn't been a proper BBC English adaptation since 1995.
Okay. Hugh Grant. That's who's in that, isn't it?
In the 1995 one?
Him or someone of, yeah.
Alan Rickman. Oh, no, Hugh Grant's in there as well.
Thank you.
It's Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, Kate Winslet, Hugh Grant. Directed by Ang Lee. Interesting. Julia Benz, Busy Phillips, Ron Perlman, and Jim Rash to star in horror comedy Horrified. The film will see a down-on-her-luck scream queen return to the horror convention circuit for fast cash, only to find the pig mask killer from her old franchise weaponizing her cult legacy against her fans and friends, and forcing her to confront past demons and fight for survival in a blood-soaked slasher showdown. The project, which is due to shoot this summer, marks the featured debut of writer-director Michael Zara, a writer on the 3 seasons of TNT drama Major Crimes.
I will fully invest because that sounds like a dumb but fun plot idea of something I would watch. So, yeah.
All right, last one for this week. Apple TV Plus has greenlighted I'm Glad My Mum Died, a drama inspired by Jeanette McCurdy's best-selling memoir of the same name, with Jennifer Aniston set to star and executive produce. The casting inevitably brings up questions about the future of Aniston's popular Apple TV Plus drama, The Morning Show. Hailing from Apple Studios, the 10-episode I'm Glad My Mum Died is written and executive produced and show-run by child actor turned writer McCurdy and Ari Katcher. I'm Glad My Mum Died is a heartbreaking and funny recounting of Jeanette McCurdy's struggles as a former child actor while dealing with her overbearing, domineering mother. The dramedy will center on the codependent relationship between an 18-year-old actress in a hit kid TV show and her narcissistic mother, who relishes her inner identity as a starlet's mother.
Yeah, fully invest.
Yeah, good for her.
Feel bad if I didn't, actually.
All right. I guess time will tell if Dylan is right or wrong, but let's talk about some movies that we know are a little bit closer in the pipeline by giving some thumbs to trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, Twisted Metal Season 2, credited by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernwick, starring Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatrice, Samoa Joe, Will Arnett, Anthony Carrigan, and Michael James Shaw. Following the revelations in the season 1 finale, John and Quiet find themselves entering the deadly Twisted Metal tournament, a sinister demolition derby hosted by a mysterious man known as Calypso. As they try to survive an onslaught of deadly new foes and familiar faces alike, including the murderous clown Sweet Tooth, things get complicated for John when he reunites with his long sister, the vigilante Dollface. Dylan, we were surprisingly impressed by the first season of Twisted Metal. What did you think of this trailer for Twisted Metal Season 2?
Yeah, it's double thumbs up. Trailer looks like a lot of fun. Looks like more of the good stuff. Yeah, surprisingly enjoyed the first season quite a bit. I just think it's very funny that for anyone who didn't watch it, it's like, wait, what was the first season about? Like, this just seems like
where they would start.
Yeah, this seems like where they would start, right? But you know what? I watching this trailer more made me appreciate they didn't jump straight to this, because I'm like, yeah, like, how do you I know these characters.
Why would you care about the
world now and stuff? So I'm down. Yeah, I'm pretty keen for this to come back, to be honest. So.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Like, I don't actually remember what happened in the first season of Twisted Metal, and I probably
the
need
big
to
reveal
like a
that what's her face was the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, other than that,
Sidney Prescott.
Nev Campbell was the bad guy. It was stringing him along. But like a lot of the other events, I don't super recall. But it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like Twisted Metal, the actual video game this time, with a lot of car demolition and destruction. So yeah, I'm very keen to check it out. It looks like everybody involved is having a lot of fun. So Twisted Metal is coming to Stan on July 31st with the first 3 episodes and then new episodes weekly, which I believe is a departure from the first season, which just dropped all at once.
All at once, yeah.
Next trailer is for Red Sonja, directed by MJ Bassett, starring Matilda Lutz, Wallace Day, Rob Sheehan, Michael Bisping, Martin Ford, Eliza Mantigu, Rona Murta, Paul Pasqualino, and Veronica Ferris. Enslaved by an evil tyrant who wishes to destroy her people, barbarian huntress Red Sonja must unite a group of unlikely warriors to face off against Dragan the Magnificent and his deadly bride, Dark Anicia. Now, Red Sonja, I feel like I've read, has been in development since 2008, I think, when Robert Rodriguez was meant to be making it with Rose McGowan. That never panned out, and a bunch of directors have been attached, a bunch of actresses have been attached. They finally put something together. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Red Sonja?
I've never been sort of, at least in recent memory, I can't tell you the last time I was this confused if something was good or bad. I felt like while watching this trailer. I think overall, I'm going to go double thumbs up because the trailer's pretty badass. I like the commitment to heavy metal music and stuff and whatever. My only worry is, and I quite like the overall look of this, and there was a really good comic run in the, I guess, early 2000s, I think that was, I quite enjoyed. So, but just the CGI is a bit rough. Is what is the thing. The other thing that has going for it is Robert Sheehan is usually entertaining, at least everything he's in. So it's got that going for it. Female director at least doing it, so it's not like, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm going to double thumbs up.
Wow. I'm going double thumbs down. This is not a good trailer. This does not look good. The CGI looks bad. Nobody's delivering anything memorable or fun or giving any good lines. It just looks very rough and feels like them finally just getting this project made.
So I said I was so confused.
Yeah.
Half my brain's like, this is bad, and the other half is like, I'm enjoying this.
Listen, it turns out Dylan's just a major fan of just women in skimpy armor.
Well, I enjoyed I only recently saw that Matilda Lutz in Revenge when I went back and watched Coraline Fages, whatever, the Substance director, her other film. She's the lead in that, and she plays, like, obviously she's a woman who's like sort of left for dead, so she then becomes a badass in that film. So I'm also like, well, I'm like, she did a really good job in that.
I guess we'll see who's right or wrong on this one. Because Red Sonja is coming to Australian cinemas on the 7th of August, a week earlier than it is in the US, interestingly. Next trailer is for Untamed, created by Mark Smith and Ellie Smith, starring Eric Bana, Sam Neill, Wilson Bethel, Lily Santiago, and Rosemary DeWitt. Eric Inman, a special agent for the National Park Service, works to enforce human law in nature's vast wilderness. The investigation of a brutal death sends Inman on a collision course with the dark secrets within the park and in his own past. So what do you think is the latest Netflix miniseries?
It's called again, Untamed. What's the title? Untamed Wilderness?
Just Untamed.
So we're doing Untamed. Yeah, no, but do you reckon it's Untamed Wilderness? I don't like the title. I'm going one up, one down, just because if it wasn't Eric Bana and then a couple shots of Sam Neill, I'd be like, this looks like the most sort of stereotypical, just B-grade Netflix show I've ever seen. Where it's like, oh, there's a murder mystery, and we're on we got some Native Americans because there's like that better tie something in there, and like there's just ticking a lot of. But I'm like, I don't know, Eric Bana was there, Sam Neill's there. I don't know. Why not one down?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like a one up, one down. You know, it feels like they got like a dartboard and like, we're gonna write a murder mystery, Yosemite.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, Eric Bana looks good, although I kept thinking about, it's like, wow, this is a really crazy sequel to the Dry movies. It looks very similar to how he does in those. Although with American accent, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. It looks like one of these series that Netflix love to put out. So not much else to say other than that. Untamed is coming to Netflix on 17th of July. Next trailer is for I Swear. Directed by Kirk Jones, starring Robert Aramayo, Maxine Peaks, Shirley Henderson, and Peter Mullane. The true life story of John Davidson, diagnosed with Tourette's at 15, targeted as insane by his peers. He struggled with a condition few had witnessed. Campaigning for Tourette's as an adult, he accepted his MBE from with the Queen in 2019. Dylan, what did you think of the trailer for I Swear?
Yeah, I like this. I'm going to double thumbs up. This looks well. I guess this is the interesting one because to me this looks like a very I guess it's potentially eye-opening take on Tourette's and what someone goes through growing up with it and how it can change their life and stuff. The other thing is I say to me because I just don't know, of course, if you know how these films come off if you actually the group that it's trying to portray sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, to me, double thumbs up, very keen. Looks really good.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me as well. I was like, very surprised by this trailer and thought, I mean, it looks like a very standard biopic, but again, tackling somebody that you wouldn't expect to be tackled. And obviously, you see the first progression of this person starting to deal with Tourette's. And yeah, I think, very heartwarming to see all these people around him kind of accept him, get to know him and understand him despite him having this condition and like kind of accepting him into his lives. So yeah, I'm expecting like a fully heartwarming story. And it is I have not seen Robert Aramayo in anything except The Lord of the Rings as Elrond. So seeing him here talking about using spunk for milk is very odd.
You know what the funniest thing is though? The other dude, the fucking I don't know what role
dude
he
he's
plays.
working with, I guess.
Working with,
or the
plays
friend.
the fucking king, whatever his name is, of the fucking king crazy with taking all the rings down there in the mines.
Okay, Peter Mullen.
Yeah, didn't you reckon? I'm watching it going, it's just a fucking Rings of Power ring.
King Durin.
Yeah, King Durin. There we go. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So King Durin's up there going, Elrond's my guy. Love the spunk.
I Swear is coming to UK cinemas on the 10th of October. Currently no Australian release date as far as I can tell. Last trailer for this week, Chief of War. Created by Thomas Parr-Sibet and Jason Momoa, starring Jason Momoa, Tamura Morrison, and Luciane Buchanan. Set amidst the beautiful backdrop of the islands of Hawaii, the 9-episode series based on the true events follows warrior Kaiana, portrayed by Momoa, as he tries to unify the islands before Western colonization in the late 18th century. Dylan, what do you think of this trailer for Chief of War?
I'm going to say, is it wild? I don't know if it's just me. I'm like, how the fuck did Tamura Morrison and Cliff Curtis always end up in anything that's like, I'm like, this isn't set in New Zealand, bros. Like,
Maori, so.
Yeah, I know. There's like.
Or Pacific Islander, however you want to describe it.
Yeah, is there other fucking actors?
Not of their stature.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, these are in everything. Crazy. I'm going to go one up, one down. I like this. I like the idea of the story. I like the setting, everything like that. I don't like Jason Momoa in this role. He's not giving what I need. I'm going to be honest.
Wow.
He's not bringing me what I feel like I need from that character based on the trailer. And he's like currently like he's just it's not delivering. Is what I'm saying. So one up, one down because of him. Sorry.
Heard it here, Jason.
I usually like him. I'm just I don't know. Like I'm not feeling it. He doesn't feel authentic. It feels like he's cosplaying.
I'm also going to give this trailer one up and down. It just didn't. There's something a little bit off about it. Like it's trying to be as epic as possible, and I don't know if it's quite pulling it off. And I think for me, it's like this is Hawaiian Shogun. And that's what kind of the vibe I'm getting, like this big epic, changing of history moments. There's Western colonizers coming in, that kind of thing. So, but it's obviously it looks really interesting. I'm keen to check it out because obviously this is a part of history that I'm sure very little people know about. And like, I'm sure a lot of people still actually do question, how is Hawaii part of the United States? And I guess we're going to find out. So
this is fake news. They were always part of the United States. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is, like Donald Trump claimed it thousands of years ago.
Before he had any power. Chief of War comes to Apple TV Plus on the 6th of November. All right, let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
And this week's top 3 in the tie-in to last week is top 3 TV 2025 TV shows we need to catch up on. So we had movies last week, TV shows this week. Dylan, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is the Amazon Prime series, The Narrow Road to the Deep North, which I have not got down to watching yet, but is stars Jacob Elordi. It was directed by Justin Kurzel. And just set during World War II.
He did. He directed. What's we'll call it the Order.
True History of Kelly. Oh, yeah.
And Assassin's Creed.
It's true. The Order and Assassin's Creed. You're correct. The only things he's done, I'm pretty sure.
Certainly not the True History of Kelly Gang, one of Dylan's favorite films of 20 of the year it came out.
I should put that out in 4K. I'll fucking drop a amount of like what? Just want to. I like the trailer. Want to watch it. All reports say it's good. Hopefully it's good. That's sitting on my list of stuff I need to watch. So, I also want to watch it properly. I want to sit there, fucking
watch it.
I'm not watching it like as I'm gonna have some lunch and watch it. I'm like, I'm zoned into this epic story,
My number 3 is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The animated MCU adjacent, tied in slightly. MCU animated Spider-Man show. Came out in January this year. Haven't watched a single episode.
Which is shocking.
Don't know how that happened. Because apparently it's meant to be pretty solid. Lots of tie-ins, lots of crossover characters, and also a fun twist on the Spider-Man lineage. So hopefully do that at some point. Dylan, what's number 2?
My number 2 is the Disney/Hulu series 1,000 Blows, which recently got renewed for a second season. It's a Stephen Knight series, but it's a true story of this boxer. Some name I can't remember, but Stephen Graham's in it, and he's the main big name person I think that's in it. But yeah, apparently it's really good. It's just this, back to sort of, I think it's just in the we call it like the secret bare knuckle brawling sort of boxing fights that they were doing back then. Follows this true story or whatever. It's from all reports really interesting. I like the cast, and Stephen Knight does good shit usually. So it's my number 2.
My number 2 is Severance season 2, which
my number 1 is Severance season 2.
I got a little way into it, but I definitely need to catch up because I feel like if I don't, I'm just not going to be part of the public consciousness.
I haven't started season 2 yet, so that's it. That's all I need to say. Yeah, we love season 1. I haven't even started season 2 yet, but yeah.
Yes. My number 1, Adolescence. One of the big hit shows of the year, one of the most talked about shows of the year, likely to be one of the most awarded shows of the year. I haven't got around to watching it, so need to rectify that at some point before December when we do end of year voting. So that is a priority, but it feels like it's going to be a tough slog to get through. Seems like challenging material to sit through. Doesn't feel like a fun watch.
Art's not about fun, Ash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
But you're
Dylan, this
right.
week, what do you want?
It will definitely be in my shortlist. So yeah,
Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
I know what you did last summer.
Anything else?
I forgot to check TV. Please hold. No.
All right. Also, Slim Piggies will be this week. On the movie front, I will say Friendship, the Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd, A24 comedy, finally coming to Australian cinemas. But I feel like this week it's a catch-up week. Or go see Superman again week.
You watch Adolescence.
Maybe. Although the new season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia is meant to start streaming, and apparently the Abbott Elementary episode, I believe, is an earlier one in that, the crossover episode. So I might check that out. But let us know what you want to watch this week by letting us know on Blue Sky at explosionnetwork.com, or find us on other social media at Explosion Pod. If you want to help us out here, what do you want to watch? Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thoughts worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/supports. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.